Good morning, Facebookers, or Metabookers, or whatever the hell it is anymore. I want to talk to you guys this morning about your mortgages. All right, people have this preconceived notion that they got a loan. I'm here to tell you right now, you never got a loan. And people are going, well, but Derek, we know we got a loan. Okay, if you feel that you got a loan, then who am I to tell you otherwise? All right, you feel you got a loan, then good on you, and more power to you. Pay your loan, okay? Pay your debt. But for those of you that are learned, that have been following me for a lot of years, and have started to figure out that things are never what you have been taught, kudos to you. And I think it's come time to put something together significant where we can get a group of people together in one location and actually sit down and show some people what has been achieved thus far. There's a number of very, very learned individuals out there who lack fear, all right? And what I mean by that is they are willing to do things that most people will never even attempt because they're too afraid of going to prison over it. And once you get rid of the fear and realize that everything is a security, everything is about excise taxes, and that the United States Inc. is bankrupt, and that debt can never be challenged, ever. But what people don't realize about that statement is the fact that that means no lowly agent and agency can say, oh, we're not in bankruptcy. That's challenging the debt. They can never deny it, and they can never admit it, but they can never challenge it in any way, shape, or form. But that doesn't stop you from being able to present the information and either, one, create an estoppel, two, claim your securities, and move your own action. So I think what I'd like to do over the next, 30 days is get a general consensus of whether or not people would be interested in flying to a different location. As you know, in the wintertime, I'm not so fond of the cold anymore. Maybe going somewhere nicer where the weather is more conducive for relaxing and receiving information, and renting out a hotel and a conference center and actually sitting down and showing people the paperwork that's been working. And I've been following another gentleman recently, and he's like, look, it's not the paperwork. It's 98% of this is just gaining the acquired knowledge and being able to stand on your own 2 feet when you get the call. And you will get the call eventually. You'll either get a call or you'll get a knock on the door going, hey, what are you doing? And they want to know if you got this shit off the internet or if you really know in your heart of hearts what's going on. I'm talking to a variety of people from all walks of life, from bikers to bankers to lawyers, who are going, wow, this information is very interesting. It's very powerful. Where are you coming up with this? It's in the books. If you want to keep a secret, ladies and gentlemen, you just put it in the books. But more so than that, it's not just in books. It's in your movies. It's televised on your State of the Union addresses. Your public officials, who are your trustees, are speaking about it openly, using double speak on national television, telling you exactly what's going on. And it's just whether or not you have the eyes and the ears to hear it and see it, and then whether or not you will stand with conviction, knowing the truth from fiction, reality from fiction. So what I'd like to do is get a bunch of people put together who are very, very brilliant, who have executed successful processes, and get them together in one area where we could sit down and just do a weekend of it, make a weekend out of it, showing people the different processes that have been executed. There's something recently that I stumbled across that is very, very, very promising. And when I say very promising, I mean 98.9% of the time, it goes through, all right? Vaughn Simpson, I posted some things for you the other day. I want you to go look at it. In fact, I posted them this morning, and I posted them yesterday on my Facebook wall. I want you to go look at those immediately. for your situation. But so anyway, just wanted to get on here this morning and talk to you guys about this. House Joint Resolution 192, Public Law 7310, the difference between positive law and non-positive law. Understanding the fact that we're all under international law, all right, which is all about banking, period. So you never got a loan. And if there was a loan at all, it was you lending them your credit. They're your securities intermediary. They were supposed to balance the books and give you the trust res, and they walked away with your property. And I know it's difficult to comprehend because you've been immersed in a world of fiction that has led you to believe that you're the debtor. You're not the debtor. You're the creditor. Plain and simple. It's so simple. It's so simple, in fact, that it's fucking stupid. But so anyway, throw your comments in there if you guys are up for a seminar, perhaps. Maybe a seminar is a bad way of putting it, where we could all meet in person, have breakfast, brunch, lunch, dinner, make a weekend out of it, hang out, enjoy each other's company. It wouldn't be so much about dealing with your personal, independent situation. It would be more of a general overlaying topic, but talking about reclaiming your securities, what you're going to do with your the birth certificate, what you're going to do with the Social Security Administration, how you're going to reclaim your status. Now, there's a lot of people out there that say, "Oh, the status thing isn't shit." I'll tell you this much: it's not necessarily about paper. A lot of it has to do with the way you carry yourself and the way you conduct business. Whether or not you know that you are an authorized representative for a United States citizen. How many of you guys actually realize that you have a United States citizen that was created for you, for your benefit, which makes you the beneficiary? Not only that, you're an entitlement holder, okay? Now, Mr. Anonymous used to tell me about entitlement holder, and I started studying entitlement holder, and I go, well, Mr. Anonymous, the entitlement holder is a commercial term, and I want to be on the private side. I don't want to deal with commerce. Well, here's the thing, Scooter. You were given that entity so you could engage in commerce, because otherwise what Congress did was treason. It was criminal. They had to give you a way out. They had to provide it. So when we start to comprehend what they did, and then realize how much of a blessing it truly is, good gravy. Everybody wants to act like it's a problem. It's only a problem if you're not learned. I promise you that. As soon as you start to see how the system was set up and what it's actually designed for, you will love the system, believe it or not. I'm up for a weekend or even a week. Yeah. Well, I'd like to put some people together. I've had a number of phone calls recently saying, "Hey, Derek, you've got quite the following, and we've got some processes that are working, and we'd like to share them with a group of people. What do you think? Is it time to put some people together and finally sit down and talk about the elephant in the room, or what?" And I at first told them, look, it's dangerous to do that. I talked to a few people, and they go, if you do something like that, man, you be warned. You know, it's dangerous. And I said, yeah, I get it. But the fact of the matter is, there are a lot of people that are waking up. There are a lot of people that would do very, very well with this information because they've been studying for years. And it's not rocket scientists. A couple pieces of paper change your whole life. 2 to 4 pieces of paper is all it really takes. Putting certain people on notice and understanding trust law. Now, I don't know if we can get through it all in a weekend or not. But one thing I could tell you is that a good solid weekend would help you in your studies exponentially. It would be like a crash college course over a 72-hour period that would be phenomenal. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm thinking Florida, Arizona, or maybe even Las Vegas. Las Vegas is cheap for everybody to fly to. Spirit Airlines, if you get your tickets in advance, like I flew to Florida for $20 straight through flight on Spirit Airlines. So that in itself is doable. But finding a way and a means for people to be able to get together, meet and greet people, shake hands, kiss babies, tell their stories, tell their success. Again, I'm just throwing out some ideas here, but I did reach out to somebody this morning who's successfully dealt with the IRS a number of times, and he's a friend through a mutual friend or of one of my mentors, and we'll see if he gets back in touch with me. And I'm sure he would like to be in some warmer weather at this point because he's far up north. So anyway, with that said, just kicking around the idea, let me know. Like to raise some funds if we do pull these people together. Like to raise some funds for them to make sure that their expenses are covered. Again, these are people that have successfully executed processes, not just once. It wasn't just a fluke thing. I'm talking about time and time again, 10, 15, 20 times they've executed the same process flawlessly, from paying off mortgages to paying off their automobiles. And it's not that they were paying them off, ladies and gentlemen. It's an egregious misstatement. It's the fact that they realized what they did. They created securities. They didn't abandon them. They're calling them home. They're saying, hey, look here. You settle these books and you send back the trust residue to me, or else. And these people understand that trust law is the highest law in the land. When you're operating in trust, once that trust is breached, there's no more, there's nothing more devastating than a breach of trust. Let's put it that way. A breach of trust is so egregious that it essentially makes it so you could never work for the government again. A breach of trust is that powerful. And people go, oh, well, Derek, we see it all the time. You're not comprehending. They're using doublespeak. Right before you're subjecting yourself to their system because you believe that you can be a name. You believe that you're that United States citizen. And if you believe that, well, who am I to tell you otherwise? You know, they use that Roman civil maxim, let he who wishes to be ignorant remain ignorant. Now check this out. There was a state senator who was being recorded without his knowledge, and that footage got leaked onto the internet. And the guy says, hey, but we're hurting we're hurting some of these persons that are out there and stuff, you know. And the senator started laughing and said, you know, it's a good thing that nobody can be sued for hurting a person. Now, just think about what he said. Nobody can be nobody can be sued for hurting a person. Why is that? What does he really mean by that statement? Well, a person is a fiction. It can't be hurt, ladies and gentlemen. You have three options with a person. You can assume the liability and become the surety for that person, that United States citizen, or you can take control over that person as an authorized representative, file the proper documentation, and do recoupments for your energy, because your life source energy is going into that United States person, and you're entitled to recoupment and compensation for it. All right? It's that simple. You've been operating a United States citizen for your entire life, never being the wiser. And I once thought it was odd. I read an excerpt in a book that said they perceive you to be experts in business. They expect you to be. They think that you are an expert in commerce. And about 3 pages later, it explained why. And it was very simple, because you've literally been doing commerce your entire life, never realizing it. You've been giving blank bankers endorsements, assuming all the liability, running around claiming that you own shit, never realizing that in legal land, to own something carries full liability. Now, one of the issues with the child abductions and human trafficking is people don't realize that's property. So there's some people up here that have gotten really offended by me saying, hey, yeah, they stole your property. No, that's exactly what they did. They stole your property. Your property gifted to you by the Heavenly Father. And people go, well, that's my child. That's my kid. No. The language, the grammar, the way that you articulate it is incorrect. It's property. So if you understand the Constitution is actually a trust indenture, it's a trust document. The preamble states it as clear as day. The intention of the founding fathers and what they did and why they set it up is crystal fucking clear. And you have an option. You have a choice. You can fall underneath the corporate guidelines, or you can fall underneath the original organic Constitution. You can enforce the law of the land, or you can be a sheep and be a follower and go along to get along because it seems so much easier to accept privileges and benefits versus being in control of the helm, right? So you can either let these guys fleece and extort your estates, or you can step up to the plate and learn how to do qualified endorsements and reclaim your securities and say, hey, look, if there's a debt due and owing, because you're holding these securities and these securities are not been abandoned, as a securities intermediary, I expect you as a trustee to balance these books and send the trust res to this location. And you can give them an address for the point to send the check to. It just amazes me how many people look in a mortgage. There is no mortgage. It's called a retail installment agreement, and there are tranchers who are invested in the securities, and so if they allow it to default, it would hurt the investors, right? But what you don't realize, and what they never told you, is you're actually a third party, a non-disclosed third party beneficiary, and you've never been told the truth. You're actually a beneficiary to that agreement, and you can terminate it at any time. So the bank doesn't lend you any money. Your blank qualified or your blank banker's endorsement gets taken to the Federal Reserve, and they go, hey, look, we got a blank pledge here. Would you extend a line of credit to us? Would you extend your credit to us, Federal Reserve, so we can go ahead and monetize this and turn it into a security and put it on the stock exchange? And the Federal Reserve says, yeah. If you would have qualified your endorsement, they would have taken it to the Treasury and offset it, discharged it. It would have been finito, done. So anyway, with that said, let me know what you guys think in the comment section of getting together. Nobody can be sued for hurting a person since they are a fiction. That's correct. It's a fiction. You can't hurt a fiction. The only thing you can do is either offset, discharge, agree. It's a fiction. You can't hurt a United States citizen just like you can't hurt a corporation. Look, people go, oh yeah, well, so there's things on a store shelf. They're already prepaid, first of all, and somebody takes them off the shelf. So what? They just turn around and they file the proper IRS documents, and voila, no harm, no foul. They get a tax break. No big deal. So the system is not what you guys think it is. Just talking, taking notes. Legal and lawful, legal land full liability. Holding securities and trust, retail installment agreement, and investors in securities, non-disclosed third-party agreement. That's right. Bank doesn't lend you money. No, they don't. Extend credit, Federal Reserve to monetize, qualified endorsement. Yep. So that's what they're doing. It's not that big of a deal. And as soon as you start to see it, and as soon as you start to learn the system, you can really have a lot of fun with this. I'm in Brighton, headed to Lansing right now, an emergency from windstorm. Yeah, be safe out there, Vaughn. Sorry, not meant to be read by you. No worries, Lisa. Anyway, we'll talk to you guys soon. Let me know what you guys think in the comment if you guys want to go to some warmer weather during this winter over the next month or so. And really sit down and hash this out. I think it's time to get together so we can actually exchange some documentation. I don't know how many people would enjoy something like that, but let me know in the comment section below. We'll talk to you later today.